where I live, I'm able to see the end of the pier downtown. And I get to see the 5 flags that memorialize the 5 men that lost their lives. So every day I get to think about it, even if it's just for a brief moment.
10 years worth of brief moments for Sean O'Brien, the first Chattanooga police officer on the scene of the July 16th terrorist attack.
And that's when I saw him, coming past the Coca-Cola facility on Amnicola Highway.
O'Brien pulled out behind gunman Mohammed Abdulaziz.
We each did a 180 in the middle of Amnicola Highway, and then he pulled in the River Park and crashed the fence into the NOS.
O'Brien says he stopped about 75 yards short of the shooter's vehicle.
By that point, he had already bailed out of the car and had shot his way into the building.
Tim White was the Navy lieutenant commander inside the Navy Operational Support Center. After firing at the shooter with his personal handgun, you can see the bullet holes inside his office. He crawled out the window and found O'Brien.
I told him what I saw, and I thought he was going to say, okay, let's go get him. But he said, I'm waiting for backup. I need you to wait behind my vehicle. And as I waited behind his vehicle, I could hear the terrorist shooting inside the building.
Up to that point, we had been trained a very specific way on how to respond to these events, which included putting together a team of 3 or 4 officers to then address the threat. And so waiting for at least one other officer to get there.
O'Brien and these other officers confronted and killed the shooter behind the building in the motorcade.
At one point, 2 rounds zipped right past my ear, and I knew in my mind I was not going to survive that day.
But survive the veteran officer did. And in the decades since the attack, O'Brien says both the thought process and the policy on how to respond to events like July 16th changed.
Research has shown over the last 10 years that the sooner an officer becomes in close proximity to the suspect, the opportunity for innocent victims to survive starts to increase. And so we will now do single officer deployments. We won't wait for a team.
Do you think about what might have been different that day if that training had been different before then?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's always the what ifs, but the reality is it happened the way it happened, and there's no going back and changing that.
For the past 10 years, really, I've wondered, did I respond appropriately? Always the answer to could you have done more is yes. So the decisions that we make, especially in those situations, aren't black and white. And we just have to do the best that we know how to do.